There are times in life when you find yourself wondering if the individual standing before you is truly meant to walk alongside you. This question doesn't apply solely to romantic entanglements. It stretches across all deep human connections. Friendships, partnerships, mentors, even those who cross your path at what seems like a perfectly orchestrated moment. How can you recognize if they are truly in tune with your soul? Carl Jung devoted much of his work to exploring the unconscious mind and its influence on the relationships we form. In his view, no encounter is accidental. The people who become part of our story are not random figures. They often mirror internal processes that we have yet to bring into the light. Have you ever sensed an instant, inexplicable bond with someone? Perhaps you tried to reason it away, but something in their energy, their essence, simply resonated with yours. Jung describes such moments as instances of synchronicity, where the inner world and outer experiences align with stunning precision. It is as if life itself is offering you a signal. This person has a role in your evolution. Yet, how can we tell the difference between an authentic connection and a fleeting illusion? Here, Jung's insights become crucial. He believed that our relationships serve as reflections of our own inner landscapes. If you notice a recurring pattern of connections that leave you feeling depleted, disrespected, or diminished, it is not merely misfortune. It is an urgent call from your unconscious mind, inviting you to look inward and examine what unresolved parts of you are attracting these dynamics. When you encounter someone who is truly compatible with your soul, the connection feels natural, effortless. You won't feel pressured to edit yourself or hide certain facets of who you are. True bonds allow you to remain grounded in your authenticity. They don't require you to wear masks or bend yourself into uncomfortable shapes to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, the right person will make you feel visible, valued, and accepted, not through idealization, but through a reflection of the self-acceptance you have cultivated within. Jung spoke often about the journey of individuation, the path to becoming your truest self beyond the roles and masks society demands. When you embark on this sacred journey, you naturally begin attracting those who are in harmony with your essence. They don't appear by some stroke of cosmic luck. Rather, you have developed the discernment to recognize them and the inner strength to release those who no longer align with your path. Think back. How many times have you clung to relationships that deep down you knew were not nurturing your spirit? Connections where conflict was the norm, where affection had to be fought for, and where simply being yourself seemed to create tension. It's not about blaming the other person or yourself. It simply signals a disconnection between your true nature and what that relationship demanded of you. Before diving deeper, I want to quickly mention that my latest book is now available. It's packed with insights and strategies designed to help you break free from emotional stagnation and cultivate profound self-love. The link is available in the description and pinned comment. Now, let's return to our journey. Jung teaches that our unconscious mind constantly seeks equilibrium. If you consistently pursue relationships that drain or harm you, eventually your entire being will rebel. Anxiety, chronic fatigue, mysterious aches, restless nights, these are the body's desperate cries for a course correction. Your mind, your heart, and your spirit collaborate to alert you. Something needs to change. When the right person crosses your path. You will recognize it, not because life suddenly becomes free of challenges, but because with them, existence feels less like a battlefield. Disagreements may still arise, difficulties will still occur, but the underlying foundation remains peaceful. Their presence will not demand that you sacrifice your wholeness. Instead, you will feel safe, rooted, and encouraged to be exactly who you are. Jung emphasized the need for harmony as a pillar of emotional well-being. Yet, he went even deeper, suggesting that a true connection between two people happens when their souls recognize one another. Although it may sound mystical, it is a logical conclusion. As we navigate life, we accumulate scars, wisdom, and longing. Consciously or not, we often seek in others what helps us heal. When someone enters your life, and their very presence invites growth, inspires authenticity, and encourages your expansion rather than contraction, you are witnessing a profound connection. Yet, it is important to understand, not every meaningful connection is destined to last a lifetime. Some people accompany us for only a season, yet their impact endures forever. Conversely, if you repeatedly find yourself entangled in relationships where you must continually prove your worth, where the terror of rejection or abandonment governs your behavior, it's time to pause and ask yourself, what wounds within me are crying out for healing? Are you choosing companionship rooted in genuine self-love, or are your choices driven by a deep-seated fear of being alone? Jung believed that solitude is not a punishment, but a sacred meeting ground where we encounter our true selves. Only when you make peace with who you are in solitude do you cease the desperate search for someone else to fill internal voids. It is precisely at that point, when you no longer seek someone to complete you, that the most authentic relationships begin to appear. The real secret isn't about finding the perfect person. It lies in becoming your most unfiltered, genuine self. When you embody authenticity, the right souls are naturally drawn to you. You don't have to chase or convince anyone of your value. Your existence alone radiates enough. Break time equals 3 South Perk. If you have ever felt that a person entered your life precisely when you needed them most, bringing clarity, healing, or even a much-needed challenge, do not brush it aside. Life communicates with us constantly through synchronicities, offering signs and guideposts. Yet, the real art lies in learning how to notice them. And noticing begins with self-awareness, understanding your patterns, acknowledging your needs, and having the courage to release what no longer resonates with your inner truth. Carl Jung taught that our external experiences mirror our internal state. If you wish to draw authentic, uplifting connections into your life, you must first become a person who embodies those qualities. Relationships are not random accidents. They are reflections of the energy you carry within. If you frequently find yourself entangled with people who leave you feeling empty, anxious, or unworthy, it's a call to investigate the beliefs you hold about yourself. This is not about blaming yourself or others. It's about understanding that our unconscious mind often pulls us toward experiences that affirm our hidden beliefs. If deep down you harbor the fear that you are unlovable or not good enough, you might unconsciously attract relationships that reinforce those painful narratives. Not because life is cruel, but because your soul seeks healing and resolution. The way out of this cycle is through conscious awareness. When you recognize that your outer world is a canvas painted by your inner world, you reclaim your power. You no longer chase love in desperation. You no longer settle for crumbs of affection. Instead, you become a magnet for healthy, fulfilling connections because you already hold that completeness within. Ask yourself honestly, am I choosing relationships from a place of self-fulfillment or from a fear of loneliness? This single question can transform your entire relational landscape, because when you choose from fear, you will always accept less than you deserve. When you choose from wholeness, you naturally invite relationships that honor your worth. Jung described this dynamic through the concept of projection. The parts of ourselves we do not fully acknowledge are often projected onto others. You might find yourself in a relationship where you feel undervalued, neglected, or unseen. The pain is real, but sometimes it is also a mirror reflecting something within, perhaps a part of you that has not fully learned to value yourself. Projection is rarely comfortable to confront. It forces you to ask hard questions. Could it be that the lack of appreciation you feel externally echoes an internal struggle to appreciate yourself? Could the abandonment you fear be rooted in a part of you that still believes you are unworthy of staying for? Jung saw the unconscious as a relentless teacher, constantly guiding us toward wholeness, even when the lessons are painful. If you find yourself repeating relationship patterns, attracting partners who are emotionally unavailable, feeling like love must be fought for, it is not a punishment. It is an invitation to heal. The first step toward transformation is observation. Begin noticing the emotional patterns that surface in your relationships. Do you feel anxious? Do you constantly seek reassurance? Do you suppress your needs out of fear of being too much? Each of these emotional currents tells a story about what your inner world still longs to heal. As Jung wisely noted, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate. Many people believe they are doomed to repeat painful patterns simply because that's how life is. But life isn't punishing you. It is reflecting back to you what you still need to transform. Imagine you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the familiar, repeating old patterns, choosing familiarity, even if it brings suffering. The other path leads into the unknown, into growth, healing, and the possibility of something entirely different. Most people cling to the known path, not because it is joyful, but because it is predictable. The unknown evokes fear, fear of being alone, fear of change, fear of disappointment. But if you want to experience new outcomes, you must find the courage to choose differently, to take the unfamiliar path even when it feels uncomfortable. You cannot attract love rooted in authenticity if you yourself have not embraced your authentic self. You cannot call in a relationship based on truth if you are still hiding behind old wounds. Jung would remind us that before we find the right person, we must first commit to becoming the right person for ourselves. This commitment demands inner work, the bravery to face your fears, to sit with your loneliness, to dismantle the narratives that tell you you are not enough. It means learning to validate yourself rather than constantly seeking validation from others. It means learning to love yourself fiercely, even when no one else seems to. Take a moment and reflect. Think about the relationships that have left the strongest impressions on you. Think about the emotional patterns that repeated across different people. What lessons were hidden within those experiences? What aspects of yourself were asking to be healed? Because here is the unshakable truth. No one else can fix you. No one else can complete you. No relationship can substitute for the inner relationship you have with yourself. When someone truly aligned with you appears, their presence will not ignite chaos or insecurity. They will not demand that you abandon your dreams or compromise your essence. Their love will invite growth, but never require self-destruction. They will see you, not an idealized version of you, but the real, imperfect, magnificent you. But in order to recognize that kind of love when it comes, you must first stop choosing from places of lack, fear, and desperation. You must do the inner work that allows you to distinguish between emotional chaos and emotional resonance. Jung teaches us that the path to true love is not external. It is an inward journey. The quality of your connections will always mirror the quality of the connection you have with yourself. When you know yourself, when you accept yourself, when you embrace both your light and your darkness, the right people will not be hard to find. They will be drawn to you naturally, without force, without games, without manipulation. So if you find yourself wondering, how will I know if someone is the right one? Start with a deeper question. Am I the right one for myself? Because only from that solid, unshakable foundation can you recognize what is truly meant for you. Break time equals 3 south greater than there's a common misconception about relationships. Many believe they exist to complete us, to heal our wounds, or to save us from loneliness. But Carl Jung emphasized a deeper truth. Relationships are mirrors, not cures. They reflect the parts of ourselves we are ready, or sometimes reluctant, to see. If you ever wonder whether someone is the right person for you, the first and most powerful question you must ask is, what am I truly seeking? Not on the surface, but deep within. Is it companionship rooted in genuine love and respect? Or is it an unconscious attempt to fill an internal emptiness? Sometimes you meet someone, and at first it feels perfect. Their presence calms you. Their words uplift you. Their energy seems to align with your needs. But as time passes, subtle dissonances begin to appear. A glance that feels dismissive. A comment that diminishes rather than uplifts. A growing sense of walking on eggshells. You try to rationalize it. You tell yourself it's nothing. But deep down, your intuition has already sounded the alarm. Jung spoke extensively about intuition as the voice of the unconscious. Unlike logic, which can be manipulated, twisted, and justified, intuition is pure. It bypasses the ego and taps directly into truth. When you feel a subtle but persistent discomfort around someone, do not ignore it. It is your deeper self trying to communicate with you, warning you that something fundamental is missing. Too often, we allow fear to cloud our inner knowing. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of losing what once felt promising. These fears push us to silence our intuition, to cling to relationships that no longer nurture us, to settle for less than we deserve. Real connection, Jung would argue, is not marked by overwhelming highs and lows. It is not the frantic roller coaster many mistake for passion. True connection is marked by peace, by a quiet sense of belonging, by the ability to be fully yourself without fear of judgment or rejection. They believe that if a relationship doesn't consume them, it must not be real. But the truth is, real love doesn't devour you. It steadies you. It anchors you deeper into yourself. It inspires your growth, not your diminishment. Think back on your own experiences. Were there moments when you ignored your inner voice, holding on to someone despite clear signs that they were not aligned with your path? Chances are, if you're honest with yourself, you'll recognize those moments not as random mistakes, but as important lessons your soul was trying to teach you. Jung's concept of synchronicity reminds us that the universe conspires not to grant our every wish, but to give us the experiences necessary for our evolution. Sometimes the people who enter our lives are not meant to be lifelong companions. They are mirrors, sent to reveal the work we still must do within. When you encounter someone whose presence pushes you to face your fears, to heal old wounds, to stand taller in your truth, even if it's painful, that relationship has served a sacred purpose. But if a connection drains you, diminishes you, or demands that you betray your deepest self, it is a signal to let go. Jung taught that the key to navigating relationships wisely is awareness. You must constantly ask, what is this connection teaching me? Is it bringing me closer to who I truly am, or pulling me away from my essence? If you find yourself chasing, begging, or constantly trying to prove your worth in a relationship, it's time to step back and ask, am I truly loved here, or am I simply trying to earn love from someone who cannot give it? True love is not earned through sacrifice. It does not require you to diminish yourself to fit into someone else's life. It flows naturally. It uplifts. It liberates. In a relationship aligned with your true self, you will not feel the need to perform emotional gymnastics. You will not live in fear of saying the wrong thing or showing too much of your authentic self. You will feel free, not because the relationship is perfect, but because it accepts your imperfections. And here's an important truth. You must be willing to release what is not meant for you to make space for what is. Many people say they want real love, but they cling desperately to connections that clearly do not honor their soul. They make excuses. They rationalize red flags. They convince themselves that things will change, that time will heal everything. But true healing begins with honesty. The soil of your life must be fertile to grow the kind of love you deserve. You cannot plant seeds of joy in barren ground soaked in resentment, fear, and self-betrayal. The moment you choose yourself fully, unapologetically, something incredible shifts. You stop accepting relationships that drain you. You stop confusing intensity with intimacy. You stop chasing love and start attracting it naturally. Jung would say that once you become aware of your unconscious patterns, you are no longer bound by them. You can choose differently. You can walk away from cycles that once trapped you. You can create a new path grounded in authenticity and inner peace. If right now you are questioning whether a person in your life is truly meant for you, pause, breathe. Set aside the stories you've told yourself, the fears that cloud your judgment, the dreams you've attached to that person. Instead, listen to your body, feel your heart. Are you at peace, or are you in constant struggle? Love should not feel like a battle you must fight daily just to be seen, heard, and valued. When someone is right for you, you will feel it without needing to justify it. It will be a silent knowing, not a list of pros and cons. And if you haven't yet found that person, trust the process. Trust that by becoming the most authentic version of yourself, you are already clearing the way for them to enter your life. Trust that you are not waiting, you are becoming. And becoming is the most beautiful journey of all. Break time equals 3 South per when you meet the right person. It will not feel like a chaotic explosion of emotion. It will not resemble the dizzying highs and devastating lows often mistaken for love. Instead, it will feel like calm, like breathing easier. Jung taught that true connection is not about possession, dependency, or desperate need. It is about meeting someone who supports your individuality, who encourages your growth, and who walks beside you without fear of losing you, because love, in its purest form, is rooted in freedom, not control. The right person will never ask you to abandon your dreams to fit into their life. They will never make you shrink yourself to be enough. They will celebrate your authenticity, not resent it. Their love will be a sanctuary where you are free to evolve, not a cage that demands you stay small in a relationship built on true alignment. There are no games, no endless battles for attention, no silent competitions for who cares more. Instead, there is presence, there is trust. There is an unspoken understanding that both people are choosing each other freely, not out of fear, not out of lack, but out of wholeness. But here's a truth many overlook. Recognizing the right person requires first becoming the person who can see them. If you are still trapped in toxic cycles, still clinging to emotional wounds, still seeking love to fill a void inside you, you may not recognize genuine love when it appears. You might even push it away, fearing its unfamiliar stability, because life does not hand you what you wish for. It hands you what you are ready to receive. It gives you relationships that mirror your current state of consciousness. If you vibrate from fear and lack, you will meet others who echo those energies back to you. But when you anchor yourself in self-love, when you embrace your wholeness, you begin to attract relationships that reflect that fullness. The most profound realization about love is this: the healthier your relationship with yourself, the clearer you see who belongs in your life. When you stop seeking someone to complete you, you naturally draw in those who want to walk with you, not because they must, but because they choose to. So next time you wonder, is this the right person for me? Pause, step back, let's step the focus inward. Ask instead, am I being the right person for myself? Because when you live in authenticity, when you stand firmly rooted in your truth, you won't have to hunt for the right connection. It will recognize you just as surely as you recognize it. If today you feel like the right connection hasn't arrived yet, don't despair. Don't view it as a deficiency or a personal failing. View it as an opportunity, a sacred window of time, to deepen your relationship with yourself, to clear the old wounds, to release what no longer serves you, to become the person who no longer settles for anything less than soul-level connection. And when the right person does appear, you will know. There will be no desperate striving, no anxiety gnawing at the edges of your heart. The connection will feel effortless, genuine, and safe. It will feel like coming home, not to another person, but to yourself, reflected back through them in a world that often celebrates chaos and drama in relationships. Finding a bond grounded in peace will feel almost revolutionary. It will not demand that you perform emotional acrobatics. It will not require endless sacrifices of your dreams, your dignity, or your voice. It will honor the wholeness you have fought so hard to reclaim. Carl Jung reminds us that love, at its highest, is an expression of mutual growth. It is two individuals walking side by side, each committed to their own journey, yet choosing to share the path. It is respect without possession, presence without suffocation, challenge without diminishment. But all of this begins within you. Before you can meet the right person, you must first find yourself. You must choose yourself again and again, even when it is hard, especially when it is hard. So if these words resonate with you, if you recognize your own journey in them, take it as a sign that you are not alone, that your work is not in vain, that every step you take toward your own authenticity is also a step toward the love you truly deserve. And if you feel called, share your experience. Your story might be the exact light someone else needs to see today. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, don't hesitate to share it. Let's spread a deeper understanding of what true love looks like. Not a battlefield of suffering, but a sanctuary of mutual respect and growth. Don't forget to stay connected here. Subscribe, activate the notification bell, and join this community where we explore the human mind, the power of the unconscious, and the sacred journey of personal evolution. If there's a topic you'd like me to dive into in future reflections, let me know in the comments. Your voice is vital. Together, we create a space where introspection, growth, and self-discovery are honored. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Thank you for choosing yourself again and again. And remember, when the right person comes into your life, you will know. But first, make sure you have already found and chosen yourself. See you in the next one.